This is from the Culture Shock Morocco book. And there's some really interesting questions in here, cultural scenarios. And what we've done is we've taken out the answers, which are also in the Morocco book. These are great scenarios that you can think of. Here's a classic one. Look at situation number 5. This happens quite often. Read number 5 and see if you can figure out the best answer.
David, could you just read it out loud?
Sure. We may have some of those. You are nearing the end, you think, of a multi-course meal at the home of your Moroccan friends. You are so stuffed you can't possibly eat another bite. But everyone is saying, eat, eat, and continues to put choice morsels in front of you. You, A, feign illness and sit back from the food. B, praise the food, praise your host, say you're full and insist you can't eat anymore. C, continue to shovel it in for the sake of propriety. Or D, redistribute the morsels placed in front of you to other diners. What do you think? How many people say A? Nobody. B. Oh, a lot of B's. C? I've done C before. D. All right. Situation number 5. Your host would be happy for you to choose C, but B is probably your best bet. A would cause alarm and invite shame on the family. D would be considered rude. Yeah.
My boyfriend's from Lebanon, and his father is like, he warned me, he's like, I'll ask you 3 times to continue to eat, and on the 3rd time, if you say no again, then I'll stop.
Mm-hmm.
So like, hopefully.
Do we get a 3-time rule?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to ask the homestay coordinator.
I don't know if that's like common.
That would be an interesting one.
So, we don't have time to go into all of these, so at the end of on your way out, you can pick up the answers on this. I do want to talk about cultural expectations, though. And there is a really good list of do's and don'ts in that Culture Shock Morocco. But I have a couple additional ones for you. And these are the ones for students on an SIT program. And where did I put them? Did you see do's and don'ts?
Yes, just come down a little.
There we go. All right. These are particular to you. And they're on here for your reference. Why is that flashing?
It's waiting for you to tell it to do something
Is
with
it
it.
opening now? There it goes. All right. Where's the... on this, I can't figure out where the zoom is anymore on this stuff.
View.
Let's see.
200? Everyone? Or 100?
Oh, there we try 200.
Oh.
Whoa, let's do it a little bit smaller than that. Let's do page width. All right. In all things, be culturally respectful. Just about everything else follows from this rule. Number 2, spend quality time with your host family. If you're not going to be home for a meal, you got to let them know. But better yet, be there for that meal. You're not going to have a chance to live with a Moroccan family very often. So your email, partying, and shopping can wait. Speaking of partying, respect local standards regarding drinking. Drink in moderation. If you are drunk and disrespectful, you can be sent home. And this is a place where most people don't drink alcohol. So this is really, really important. And people on SIT study abroad programs are sent home for getting drunk. There are several blocks of free time. Feel free to use these for interviews and meetings that relate to your final project. And some of those, you'll get a more detailed itinerary. And speaking of free time, you're there on a course. You can do whatever you want before January 3rd, dinner time, and after lunch on the 11th. But it's really important that we give 100% to the learning, the group, and the course. What happens is someone like pulls back and says, you know, I got to go out. I saw this rug in the Medina. I got to go buy it. I'm going to skip this meeting. That plays badly for everybody. It affects the group dynamics. Therefore, I'm going to fix that. Activities are required. If you skip something, everyone else loses out, and you miss an important opportunity, and there's important participation. This is the heavy part. The heavy, like I have to be the heavy here. But this is really important. And I'd say, you know, as I said, number one, being culturally respectful is the most important piece. And that means being culturally respectful.
Will our host expect women to be covered?
That's a really interesting question.
Can you repeat the question?
Will our host expect women to be covered? One of the things on the shopping list, on the packing list, is a shawl to bring in those situations. Often, depending on the household, if they're not super conservative households, women aren't covered in the home. So that might be a personal thing, and we can also check. Yeah.
I was just wondering, is it everybody covers, like in general, like is it the cultural thing, or is it like a religious thing that they cover?
It's almost one of those things.
Yeah, yeah.
So like if you were
Yes.
to see Moroccan women who weren't covered, then it wouldn't be like the same religion?
No,
Is that-
they're still maybe strong Muslims, but not as conservative.
Okay.
Personal choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talking to one of my friends who lived in Morocco for 6 years and she's converted to Islam, like she doesn't cover, I mean she is American but she's married to a Moroccan, she doesn't cover unless she's praying or like in a mosque. So it's like it's good to have something with you so that like if your family wants to take you or whatever, you can go in and be respectful, but on the street it probably won't be a big deal.
One of the things, and interestingly enough, this doesn't apply to anyone in this room except me, but you might mention it to Nick or the other guys on the trip. Moroccan, if it's a fairly conservative Moroccan woman, you don't shake their hand. If you're a man, you don't touch them in any way on the shoulder or anything like that.